So let's start. Hi guys, this is Somdev Basu, and today I'm just gonna be guiding you through the entire process of machine learning and how, as a student developer who is just starting out, you can start your course on machine learning. And this won't be anything uh, that is way too research oriented, but will focus a lot more on the practical approach and basically all the tools and approaches and references that I followed during my um, beginning days or starting days of machine learning. I'm not a huge guy, I'm also a beginner, but I think my the way I started off would help a lot of you to start off, because many of us get scared when we hear the terms machine learning for the first time. I remember when I first heard it, I was in my first year and I genuinely wanted to progress in this field, but it wasn't until the end of second year. I'm currently starting off with fourth semester, and it's only now that I understand the true factors and the amount of effort that goes into being a machine learning engineer. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it. So, let's start off with what machine learning is. So, machine learning ML is basically how you let computers do stuff for you. That's what it is. You put in a bunch of information and you expect the computer to return an output for you. So that's basically what machine learning is in the layman's terms. Now, machine learning can be categorized into three sorts of systems based on how we approach, or how the machine approaches the learning to produce the suitable output. The first one being the supervised system, the second one being the unsupervised system, and the third one being the semi supervised. Okay, you get the point. So these three are basically the three sorts of machine learning systems. Now let's talk about supervised systems for a bit. Supervised. So in this sort of approach, you have both so for any machine learning problem, you will basically have two sets of characteristics. The first one being the data itself, and the second one being the labels. Now, what is data? Data is actually any form of information that is present as input information to the computer. The second one is the labels. Labels are basically the names or characteristics that are assigned to a particular data form. So, for example, let's say this is a heart. So, it's not a heart, but it's a heart emoji. I'm not good at this drawing stuff on the blackboard. So, let's just say this is a heart emoji. Yeah. So, the data is this picture or image itself, and you can say this is the data, and the label would be the heart emoji, the statement or the text. So it's not always that we have text based labels, but it's pretty common to find data that's labeled as text. So I think you get the concept about what is data and what is labels right now. So for supervised systems, you have both data as well as labels. Data and labels all are available simultaneously. So you feed in to the computer the data and the labels together. So that's what I'm trying to say. um, we'll get further into it, into details, a lot more details as we progress, but that's basically what supervised learning is all about. Now, for unsupervised systems, we actually just put in um, a lot of data, and this data is unlabeled data. Unlabeled. So, since the data is unlabeled, therefore the computer has no required approach to be taken to group together similar terms, or how to identify. It has no actual source of information to do that. So basically what I'm trying to say is, let's say this is a graph plot and you have a bunch of points here. So by looking at this, since this is just the data and I have not provided to the computer any sort of labels, the computer, after learning, after a lot of research and development, which we call machine learning models, might come across something like, it can group these three dots together, it can group these three dots together, and it can group these three dots together. This is basically known as clustering approach, and clustering is basically one of the various approaches to unsupervised machine learning. And so this basically, we see that here we just provide the data and with no labels, and the computer learns to categorize the data into similar data on its own, basically without any intervention of the user per se. Now, coming to semi-supervised machine learning, it's basically the middle ground. Like, some part of the data is in fact supervised, while some part of the data is completely unsupervised. So it's basically a mix of supervised and unsupervised machine learning. And this type of system is very useful in multiple tasks, and we will come to it at a later part of this video, but this is an advanced concept, let me tell you that. So first we'll look at supervised machine learning, then we'll look at unsupervised machine learning, and by the time we get to semi-supervised machine learning, you'll know that you already know a lot of terms, and you have basically an enriched vocabulary while teaching shit to students. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for bearing with me. That's all for the first video. Thanks. And yeah, I regret my my drawing skills. So yeah, bye.